the Queen's episode, I took you to England to try to answer the question, can women be effective world leaders, and will society accept them as such? We looked into civilization's past, nature, bad boys, oh yeah, food, and more food, travel safety, and head chopping. We talk about that. How could we not when we take you behind the gates of the Tower of London? But in the end, we answered a question, and it was more surprising than you think, considering cultural and societal misconceptions were broken. In this episode, we head to Hollywood, California, where dreams can come true and imaginations can soar. Many people migrated to California in hopes of fulfilling those dreams, from the miners seeking gold to Hollywood hopefuls looking for a chance to become a star. Hollywood, Los Angeles, is where I grew up, a melting pot of cultures. This is my town, my backyard. It's a fascinating and beautiful place. I host events here featuring rock bands and great mocktails.
Oh God! That's what this is.
There's a glamorous side, but also the gritty side. Hollywood is a land for openness, a place to take chances and be creative. Does that hold true for women too? We look at the women of Hollywood and see, has things really changed for women in Tinseltown over the years than before? Let's go find out. Hi, I'm Kailin Gow. When 9/11 hit in 2001, I thought the world was ending and decided to pursue what I have to do, write one book. Years later, I wrote 250 and sold millions of copies of books for all ages. In fantasy, romance, YA, children's, science fiction, thriller, and mystery. But in the back of my mind, as in all my book series, I've always kept the purpose of why I started writing, to learn and share about social issues and to highlight human strength and hope, especially in trying times. The world has become more visual, and voices are rising. Many of these voices are women and minorities, and others who didn't have a loud voice as before. So, with the Go Girl, we follow these voices, including mine, to explore this changing world and how women and anyone who has a world, a voice, can go to see and go become the best person they're meant to be. Here's Kailin Gow's Go Girl, and I am your host. Hollywood, the ultimate frontier, where people with dreams come to make it big in the movies. I've always loved the golden age of Hollywood, when films were black and white, ladies were mysterious or sweet, and men were, better dressed, most of the time. Growing up in Southern California, my family was always around Hollywood. My family's restaurant was used as a set for a Clint Eastwood film. A few of my classmates were professional child actors. A friend's father was once on a crew of Christopher Reeve's Superman films. And my 5th grade teacher's husband made films, and she was an actress. My brother was almost cast in Bad News Bears when the scout came to our school to look for the cast, and in elementary I was chosen to be made up by a professional makeup artist as a geisha doll to demonstrate theatrical makeup. It seems everyone was in show business. California, with its history rooted in gold, brought forth dreamers and doers, pioneers and risk takers, many whom you wouldn't expect, including women. Many young women came to Hollywood in the 1920s, 1930s, and 40s in a hope to find jobs, any job. Jobs were scarce because of the wars, and it was the first time women as a force went to work to support the family, while mostly the men went off to war. For the first time, women got the chance to work as writers, script supervisors, producers, editors, and even directors. Who were the real damsels in distress? Who were the real brains? Who owned Hollywood? Who had the world at her feet? Who helped change the world through entertainment? Let's find out. Of course, I went to the heart, Hollywood Boulevard. It's the crossroads between the old and the new, old Hollywood and new Hollywood. There's Hollywood Wax Museum. And there's Ripley's Believe It or Not in Hollywood. Surprise? Not really. It fits right into Hollywood. Did you know Robert Ripley was a California boy who went on to becoming a cartoonist? Sounds a little bit like Walt Disney. And then a world traveler, collecting oddities from his travels, visiting over 201 countries. Even he had a dream to be an entertainer in Hollywood. Where else can you find a cow with a leg growing out of its back? Comes in handy to swat the flies away, I guess. Siamese twins lambs, they have two heads sharing one body. Shrunken heads? A dress made out of toilet paper? How handy when someone can't spare a square. All this talk about oddities and walking around among stars puts you into another world that my stomach soon brought down to earth. Time to eat, and what better place than Mel's Diner? We're here at Mel's Diner with 60 years of dining experience. It's located right in the heart of Hollywood, so of course we have to try it. All-American fare and a certifiable drive-in. Guy Fieri of Triple D visited here, so it must be. I'm going for some breakfast. Here it's served all day. Who says you have to eat your food at a certain time of day? I like a place who breaks the rule, offers you yummy things any time of the day. So folks, you're in for a treat. It happens to be that time of the year. And I don't mean when Aunt Irma visits, but that time of the year when anything goes. Night becomes day. East meets west, and further west. South is north, and, well, you get it. It's all about diversity. California has a diverse population, and you can tell by the kinds of foods that California has. For instance, over here is the OC Night Market, and there's a lot of Asian fusion and Asian food here. Let's go try some. Fusion and more fusion. Traditional foods with a twist. My kind of awesome sauce. Lobsters, being barbecued with butter and lemon juice, brings out its natural flavors. These lobsters are incredibly fresh. I mean, one moment they were getting ready to pinch you, and the next, they're here. But you can't deny this looks yummy, so... Great, thank you. Okay. Too bad it was so small. But wait, that just means there's a lot more food fusion to explore. Eat, that is. That's a good thing. Oh, Japanese fried chicken. Let me try this. It's kind of a little more crispier than normal fried chicken, but really good. Juicy. This is bulgogi fries. I've never tried it before. It's a Korean fusion dish. We're gonna try it. It looks really good. It's a really good mixture of food and flavors. Wow, it's good. This is wonton tacos. I've never tried it before, but it just sounds good. It's so good. From giant fried squid on a stick, potato swirls on a stick, to fried milk, Thai rolled ice cream, ramen burritos, kimchi french fries, Japanese steamed buns, and even cookie cups. There are so many foods to try. Here's a travel tip. When you can, time your visit to coincide with a festival or event. It gives you a chance to see how their locals live while getting involved hands-on. As a go-girl, be brave and bold, and don't be scared to get right in. Now that I'm in the OC, Orange County for short, less than an hour away from Hollywood, along the coastline of beaches and home to the Big D, Disneyland that is, and Knott's Berry Farm. No, not stopping there right now, that's another show. It's time for a quick stop for some shopping.
Taking advantage of California's sunny weather, you have a lot of shopping malls that are outdoors, like this one, which is Fashion Island, located in Newport Beach.
Beautiful shopping malls like Fashion Island with a mixture of large brand stores mixed with local oni, boutiques, restaurants, and theaters is a winning retail entertainment mixture, a result of smart planning. From my studies in ecological planning and my experience in real estate, it provides great pleasure for me to find healthy, well-planned social ecosystems that are sustainable. Shopping centers that have a good mix of shops, dining, and entertainment have a good chance of survival against online retail. The shopping mall, like people, had to adapt to societal and technological changes. With the rise of online retail, the brick-and-mortar retailers had to offer more, including entertainment like movie theaters. But that too is undergoing technical and societal changes when people can watch a film from anywhere.
Movie theaters are everywhere, and there are many different ways to watch movies, like on your telephone, your computer screen, and even television. So they have to up it. Now you have luxury movie theaters, like this one.
Oh, and they have cupcakes too.
Cupcakes. Sounds like my kind of place. I'm gonna go ahead and get some.
Casey's Cupcakes happens to be a Hall of Fame winner in the Cupcake Wars. I believe it. This red velvet cupcake is one of the best I've had. Now let's go from cupcakes to pancakes. Pancake makeup, that is. We're visiting the Max Factor building, now housing the Hollywood Museum. Why am I headed there? To discover and answer the question, who held the power in Hollywood? And who helped change the world? Also, why is there a lack of women directors then and now? Only a handful of women became directors. Well-known directors back then. Today, we have more women working now than in the 1930s and 1940s. We have a larger population, more theaters, more films being made. So now, almost 70 to 80 years later, are there more women directors? You would think so, based on population growth, more educated and trained women in the workforce, and better opportunities than our grandmother or great-grandmother's generation. But, according to Variety, in 2015, the number of female directors have fallen. It stems from the 1920s when scandals threatened the film industry and many states had to censor films. Add to that were the pressure movie studios faced trying to appeal to audiences while struggling against the Great Depression. Then, when silent films were replaced by talkies or films with sound, concerns for societal's morality mounted. Will Hayes was brought in and served as president of the Motion Pictures Producers and Distributors of America to defend against these attacks. Will Hayes, the Great Depression, change in technology, when sound was introduced and then television, all led to rules that governed movie makers but was intended to protect society. These rules were known as the production rules. What were the production rules, you may be asking, and why did they have such an impact on how women were portrayed on screen and how fewer women became directors and producers because of it? In short, the production rules were a precursor to ratings, like PG, R, and X. But the early rules had a list of don'ts regulating films. Take a look. Here are a few, and as you can see, the rules tend to regulate the image of women more than men. Of course, society was different back then, But in order to understand how film ratings can affect the role women played in Hollywood, you have to step back in time, like I did. Back into the 1930s and 40s. Those were the glamour days. People dressed up, and women, no matter what they were doing, whether at home or going out to dinner, always looked good doing it. But it was more than being fashionable, it was more than being glamorous. The image of women were forever captured by the women of early Hollywood, embodying more independent women brought on by women joining the workforce and becoming breadwinners or involved in community and social functions were the glamorous actresses of the 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s. They were such go-girls without even knowing it. They took a risk against social expectations and actually worked in an unconventional job for women, acting and entertainment. And when you think about it, due to social morals, acting and show business were a men-only profession since William Shakespeare's days, when men acted all the parts of a play, including the women's roles. Despite the production rules, despite the restrictive image of women they imposed on women, I think women, the strong women of early Hollywood, helped women dream and aspire to be more than what they were told they could be as women. The women of early Hollywood on screen were trendsetters, modelers for society, and wielded more influence and power than people gave them credit for. Actresses like Elizabeth Taylor, Rita Hayworth, and Marilyn Monroe molded the women around the world. In fact, Marilyn Monroe, who played the ditz so perfectly, was a master brander and marketer. She knew what she was doing and created the perfect Hollywood icon. But most of all, she was a true go-girl at heart. Look at her go-girl quote, "We are all of us stars and we deserve to twinkle." And go-girl she was. These early women in Hollywood pioneers had an impact that we still feel today. Just look around you. Their influence is still there on screen, museums, posters, and pop culture. It's been over 60 years, yet these women have transcended time and trends. If that's not power, then what is? The women of early Hollywood have become icons, without meaning to, without overtly seizing the reins from male directors, producers, and actors. Some of these go-girls, such as Lucille Ball, even became powerhouses behind the screen as well. So, here's to the amazing start of women's influence in Hollywood. So you can see we answered the question as to who held the power in Hollywood during the early days. And did women's influence in society grow? Yes and yes. The golden days of Hollywood were also the golden days for women in Hollywood, in a sense, since many women than before worked in entertainment and made a worldwide impact on society. But as you can see from the Variety article, today's Hollywood may be another story, which I will explore in more details soon, as in the next episode. So join me again for Hollywood Part 2, Today's Women. And in the meantime, when you see a poster or photo of an iconic Hollywood star like Marilyn Monroe, Lucille Ball, Audrey Hepburn, just know they broke barriers in their days. They were such go-go's, and so can you. So, put your mind on go and go for it. This has been a Girls Will Be Girls production. California is rich in history, settings, and people that inspire stories. Many of my books take place in California, such as Never Say Never, The Blue Room Serial, Saving You, Saving Me, Loving Summer series, The Protégé series, Beautiful Beings, Post Vampire series, Rock Hard, Love Hard, and Post-Apocalypse Circus.